told him my fantasy involving his boss, and his reaction changed everything. Hey Reddit, I'm using a throwaway account for this because I definitely don't want this linked to my main one. My friends all follow my main account and they don't know about this side of my life yet, so I'm keeping it private for now. I'm in need of some advice, but since I can't turn to my friends, I know they'd side with my husband anyway. I'm hoping to get some honest opinions from you all. Sometimes the best advice comes from strangers who don't have a stake in your life. So, a bit of background to help you understand where I'm coming from. My partner Jake and I have been together for around 3 years. We've been married for about 3 years, but our relationship goes way back to high school and college. We've been inseparable for as long as I can remember. I thought we had a pretty amazing relationship. Jake is an incredible guy. He's got a steady, well-paying job. He's kind, easygoing, and always been the romantic one between us. After finishing college, I wasn't really interested in the typical 9-to-5 grind. I shared this with Jake, and he was incredibly supportive of my desire to run my own business. I had some experience as a masseuse and decided to expand my skills by taking additional courses. Jake went above and beyond to help me turn this into a reality. He opened a store for me, fully equipped, staffed with employees, and up to code with all the latest equipment. He's been handling all the bills while I managed the store and taken the profits. The store has been thriving since its launch. It's the only one of its kind in the area, and it quickly gained popularity. The business has been booming, and I'm so grateful for everything Jake has done to make this possible. I've thanked him endlessly for his support. The flexibility of owning a business has been fantastic. I can set my own hours, delegate tasks, and enjoy some downtime when things are running smoothly. It's been a dream come true. Things have always been pretty amazing between Jake and me. For as long as I can remember, I felt incredibly fortunate to have a husband who cared so deeply about me. Jake and I have always had a playful, sometimes edgy sense of humor. We joke around a lot and it's usually harmless fun, but recently, something I said in jest sparked a reaction that has completely thrown me off balance. A few weeks back, Jake's company hosted a work party, and of course I was going with him as his plus one. This event came right on the heels of some significant changes at Jake's workplace. A few weeks before the party, Jake had been passed over for a promotion he had worked tirelessly for. It was a position he felt he rightfully deserved, given his dedication and hard work. But instead, the promotion went to someone else, someone who just happened to be the cousin of the person making the decision. Jake was furious, and understandably so. He felt betrayed, especially since the new boss was someone he considered to be incompetent and unqualified. We decided to attend the work party as a chance for me to meet this new boss, who had become a sore spot for Jake. He had talked about how the new boss's lack of knowledge was causing problems, and I was curious to see if my husband's complaints had any merit. The work party itself went off without a hitch. I met Jake's new boss, and while he was friendly, he was perhaps a bit too friendly. It quickly became apparent that he was flirting with me. I tried to brush it off, thinking it might be a case of overcompensation or just a friendly demeanor. Later in the evening, we were surrounded by some of Jake's close colleagues and his boss. I took the opportunity to talk about my business. I mentioned what I do, where my business is located, and extended an invitation for anyone interested to come by anytime. Jake's boss, with a grin, asked for a business card and made a joke about coming to visit. I laughed it off, thinking he was just being playful. To my surprise, 2 days later, Jake's boss showed up at my workplace. I was in my office when my secretary informed me that there was a customer specifically requesting me. Given the nature of my business, it's not uncommon for clients to request my services due to their personal preferences, and they usually pay extra for the privilege. I assumed it was just one of my regular clients until I stepped out and found Jake's boss standing there. At first, I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was a professional setting, and I was there to provide a service. So, I went ahead with the appointment. The encounter was just part of the job, or so I thought. Jake's boss started coming to my place a lot, almost every day. He quickly became one of my top-paying clients. I knew this would bother Jake since he didn't like his boss, and always talked about how sleazy he was. I didn't want to upset Jake or risk losing a good client, so I kept it to myself. Even though Jake's boss would flirt with me or act unprofessional sometimes, I managed to handle it without letting it show. But then, about 2 weeks ago, Jake came home acting unusually quiet and distant. I tried to get him to talk, but he wasn't ready to open up. The next day at dinner, he finally asked if it was true that his boss was a regular client at my place. I couldn't lie, so I admitted it. Jake was really disappointed and wanted to know why I hadn't told him earlier. I told him I thought it was just business and that nothing inappropriate was going on, which is why I hadn't mentioned it. Jake was really angry and said he wanted me to stop seeing his boss. At first, I tried to argue, but Jake was firm about it, so I agreed to stop. However, 2 days later, Jake's boss showed up at my place again. I tried to refuse and suggested one of my employees take care of him, but he insisted on seeing me specifically, or he'd take his business elsewhere. Feeling stuck, I decided to do it just this one time and promised myself I wouldn't let it happen again. When I got home that day, Jake confronted me immediately. Somehow, he knew that his boss had been there again. I confessed, admitting that I had indeed gone through with the appointment. Jake was angry, but I assured him that it would be the last time his boss would come to me for a massage. For a while, things seemed to settle down. Then, a day later during dinner, we started discussing our fantasies and boundaries. Jake was in a playful mood, and the conversation shifted to various kinks and desires. In a lighthearted moment, I jokingly mentioned that he might enjoy watching me with someone else. I laughed and added, "You know, Jake, you're such a cuck sometimes. How about you watch me with your boss? I bet that would make for quite a show." At the time, it was just a playful comment, and Jake seemed to take it as a joke. He laughed along and played along with the banter. However, I noticed he seemed a bit off afterward, but I shrugged it off, thinking he was just playing along. Later that week, Jake's behavior took a turn for the worse. He became distant, cold, and easily irritated. I thought it might be work stress or something else going on in his life. But then, one evening, things took a surprising and sharp turn. We were having dinner and chatting as usual, and I made another light-hearted comment. I joked about how Jake had cork tendencies and playfully suggested he should watch me with his boss. It was meant to be a joke, especially since I knew how much he disliked his boss. But out of nowhere, Jake exploded. It was like a switch had flipped. His face turned red and he started shouting. He called me disrespectful and accused me of not taking our marriage seriously. I was stunned. I'd never seen him this angry before. I tried to explain that it was just a joke and that I didn't mean anything by it, but he wasn't having any of it. Since then, Jake has completely ignored me. It's like I don't exist. He won't talk to me, answer my texts, or take my calls. I've tried apologizing over and over, but nothing seems to work. It's only been 2 days, but it's already unbearable. I've even gone so far as to block his boss from my office. He's no longer allowed in or attended to by anyone. But despite that, Jake still won't forgive me. At home, he acts like I'm invisible and has been working overtime to avoid me. I don't know what to do or how to fix this. I regret making that joke so much. It was meant to be harmless, and I can't understand why he's taking it so seriously. I feel completely lost and desperate for a solution. Update. Hey Reddit, it seems like my post attracted a lot of the usual negative comments, mostly from people who seemed more interested in throwing insults than offering constructive advice. I'm here to update those of you who actually gave helpful advice, even though I've tried most of what was suggested. I've apologized to Jake multiple times, both in person and through messages. Every time, he just acts like I'm invisible. I've suggested couples counseling or therapy to try and work things out, but he's completely ignored that too. I really don't understand why he's taking things so seriously. It was meant to be a joke, and I never thought it would blow up like this. As for Jake's boss, he's tried to come by my workplace twice now, but I've made sure he's been banned from the premises and won't be attended to by anyone. I've done everything I can think of to fix this situation, but nothing seems to be working. I'm at a loss and don't know what Jake wants me to do next. I'm just trying to find a way to make things right, but it feels like I'm hitting a wall. Any advice on what else I could do would be appreciated. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me again. I've spent the last few minutes crying my eyes out, and I'm at a loss for what to do next. How did things spiral so badly, so quickly? A few days ago, I went to my office as usual. I hadn't been there the day before because I was sick and needed to rest at home. Jake was still ignoring me, and I was hoping he'd eventually get over it. But when I got to work, I was stopped at the door and told I wasn't allowed in. I was completely confused until I found out that Jake had shown up, fired all the employees, and shut down the store temporarily. I have no idea why none of the staff could reach out to me about what was going on. The only people left there were the security staff. I was furious and bewildered. I went to confront Jake at his workplace. Since the store is in his name, he pays the bills and the rent, and he owns all the equipment. He technically had the right to do whatever he wanted. But to me, it felt like a complete betrayal. I tried to explain that the comments were just a joke, and that I didn't understand why he was taking it so seriously. But he told me that comments like that couldn't be jokes, especially when I'd made them more than once. He said that if I had truly respected him, I would have stopped seeing his boss the moment he asked me to. Jake told me that everything was his and he could do whatever he wanted with it. He told me that since I knew about what he had done, I should just go home and pack my things. I thought he was kidding, so I refused to leave and told him we needed to talk and sort things out. When Jake came home later, things escalated into a screaming match. I insisted on staying and working things out, but he was adamant that he was done. He said he was tired of feeling disrespected, and that if I had respected him, I wouldn't have made those comments, or kept seeing his boss and attending to him without telling him. He threatened to call the cops if I didn't leave, so I had no choice but to hurriedly pack some of my things and go. I'm now at my best friend's place, crying and trying to understand why Jake would do this over what I thought was a harmless comment. He's not only taken away something I love, the store, but he's also put our marriage in jeopardy. All of this seems so disproportionate to me. I don't know what to do or how to fix this. I'm lost and heartbroken. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me again. I've been having a really rough time these past few days. My best friend has been my rock through all of this, and I'm so grateful for her support. I've been desperately trying to get in touch with Jake, but he's been ignoring me completely. After countless attempts, he finally answered one of my calls. When he did, it was like a punch to the gut. He told me to stop bothering him, or he'd block me. He was adamant that he was done with me and warned that I'd soon be served with divorce papers. He said he wanted me to go be with his boss, so he wouldn't have to see me anymore. I felt like my heart was being ripped out. I miss him so much and regret everything that led to this point. I tried begging him to reconsider, but he just hung up on me. I spent the entire day in tears, and my best friend had to take a day off work just to stay with me and console me. I don't know what to do anymore. The weight of everything is overwhelming, and I feel lost without him. I keep replaying our good times together in my head, wishing I could turn back time and fix everything. It's hard to believe how quickly everything fell apart. I just want to make things right and have him back in my life. Jake has always been the kind of partner who would go to great lengths for me, supporting me through every high and low. He was my rock, my biggest cheerleader, and the one person who made me feel truly valued. We had a bond that seemed unbreakable. My friends would often tell me how lucky I was to have someone like Jake in my life. They saw the way he would put me first, the way he made an effort to make me feel special and loved. And I agreed with them wholeheartedly. From spontaneous date nights to the little surprises he'd plan, Jake always showed me how much he cared. There was a time when I would boast about how amazing our relationship was, about how Jake would go above and beyond for me. I thought our connection was something rare and precious, something that many people wished they had. Our life together felt like a dream, and I genuinely believed that we had something extraordinary. But now, everything seems to have just come crashing down. I'm struggling to reconcile the loving partner I knew with the person he has become. It's like a cruel twist of fate, where once I felt like the luckiest person in the world, now I feel like everything I cherished is slipping away. I keep replaying moments in my mind, wondering where things went wrong, and why the same person who used to make me feel so cherished is now the one making me feel like I don't matter. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me. I've been getting a lot of requests for an update, and I guess some of you don't realize that we have actual lives outside of Reddit. The past few weeks have been some of the hardest in my life. It's been a painful whirlwind, and I don't know how I would have survived it without my best friend, who has been there for me every step of the way. First things first, I got served with divorce papers. That was, without a doubt, the worst day of my life. I can't even describe the devastation I felt when I opened the door and saw Jake standing there, holding the papers. And the fact that he had the audacity to deliver them in person, it shattered me. I broke down right in front of him, sobbing, but he didn't even flinch. He didn't console me. He just dropped the papers, asked me to sign them, and walked away. I couldn't believe that this was the same man who once promised me the world. The same man who swore he'd never let me cry without being there to wipe away my tears. The man who said we'd spend the rest of our lives together, building a future, loving each other, and now we're just strangers. What the fuck happened? How did we go from being soulmates to this? The days after that were a blur. I spent them crying in disbelief, feeling like my world had crumbled around me. It took everything in me to just get out of bed. My best friend was there, pushing me, reminding me that I had to keep going. But it didn't feel real. It still doesn't. Weeks later, I'm still not over it. But I knew I couldn't just sit there in my misery. The world was moving on without me, and I had to catch up. So my best friend and I went to the house to pack up the rest of my things. Part of me hoped, prayed that Jake would be there, that he'd stop me and say it was all a mistake, that he wanted to work things out. But no, it wasn't a prank. It wasn't a silly joke. He wasn't going to beg me to stay. He's done with me. And I saw it in his eyes when we crossed paths briefly. There was no love there anymore. Just this cold, distant look, like I was nothing more than a memory he'd already forgotten. That's when it really hit me. It's over. The man I loved, the man I thought I'd grow old with, doesn't care about me anymore. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, my best friend told me that my old store, the one Jake shut down, is now back up and running. He hired new employees and reopened it without saying a word to me. It's booming, apparently, and now it's his business, not mine anymore. How crazy is that? Something I put my heart and soul into is now his. It's like I've been erased, not just from his life, but from everything we built together. It's surreal, it's painful, and I'm still trying to figure out how to move forward from this. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me again. Time for a mini update because, well, everyone else finally found out that Jake and I are no longer together. And just like that, I've become the punchline of every joke. It's like people were waiting for this moment, waiting for my downfall. The few good friends I still have are honestly shook that Jake and I are divorcing. They admit that I messed up, and I can't deny that. But even though they've taken his side to some degree, they've still been supportive in their own way. They're not cutting me off, at least, but it's clear where their loyalties lie. I'm trying to be thankful for the little bit of help they've given me, but it still stings. The bad friends? Well, they're finally showing their true colors. They've been mocking me behind closed doors, talking about how I used to brag and gloat about my life, about Jake and I being the asterisk couple, and now look at us. Over, done. I guess I was too blind to see who was real and who wasn't when everything was going well. Now, I'm just the subject of their ridicule. On the other hand, my parents have been incredibly supportive. They've been urging me to come back home, but I've refused. I feel better and happier staying with my best friend. She gets me, and being with her has helped me more than being coddled by my parents ever could. If I went home, my parents would baby me to the point where I'd just sit and wallow in my misery. I need to keep moving forward, and my best friend has been the anchor holding me together. But I'll be honest, my parents can be a pain in the ass. They love Jake, maybe even more than they love me sometimes. I know they'd try to fix things between us if I went home, but there's nothing left to fix. Jake's done with me, and there's no point in clinging to a fantasy. As for Jake's side of the family, I haven't heard a peep from them. No surprise there. They never really gave a damn about me, and I'm sure they're quietly celebrating now that we're done. I can only imagine the smug looks on their faces, and as much as it hurts, I'm not shocked. They were never on my side to begin with. On a slightly positive note, I did hear from Jake a few days ago. He called me out of the blue, only to gloat, of course. He told me he finally got the promotion he's been working so hard for. Apparently, he reported his boss's unprofessional behavior to HR weeks ago, and his boss ended up being let go. Jake got the promotion, and now he's riding high on that victory. He called me just to rub it in my face. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm glad his boss is gone because that man seriously fucked everything up for me. But hearing Jake's voice, hearing him gloat, just ripped my heart out all over again. How crazy is it that the man I love doesn't even want to reconsider us? He's moved on. It's like I never even existed to him anymore. The worst part, I'm completely broke. You'd think that after running a booming business for so long, I would have saved some money. But nope, nothing. My savings are empty. I've always been an extravagant person, and I guess I thought Jake would always be there to pick up the slack when I needed it. Now, I'm selling off everything I own just to stay afloat. Expensive bags, jewelry, all of it. My best friend has been helping me out, but I can't let her carry me forever. It's humiliating, and the reality of my financial situation is hitting me harder than I ever imagined. I don't know what's going to come next, guys. I feel numb, like my heart's been ripped out and there's nothing left. The man I love is gone, my business is gone, and now I'm trying to scrape together the pieces of what's left of my life. It's just so crazy to think about how everything can change in the blink of an eye. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me again. I know it's been a while since I last posted, and for that, I'm sorry. Life has been a whirlwind, but I feel like I owe you guys this final update. Not that it's much of an update, but more like a way for me to close this chapter of my life. The one that was Jake. I need to move on because if I don't, I'm going to keep dragging myself down, and I can't keep doing that. So here goes. First of all, the divorce is finalized. It's officially done. It's crazy how something that defined my life for so long could be ended in such a quick, cut and dry way. I didn't even waste money on a lawyer or try to fight anything because honestly, what was the point? We barely spent an hour in the courthouse. Everything was straightforward. The house was a premarital asset, so that stayed with Jake. The business? Well, it was only ever in Jake's name, so that stayed with him too. We had no shared debts, no complicated finances to split. We'd always kept our money separate, and now I realize how much that worked against me. No kids, no child support, and we were only married for about 3 years, so spousal support wasn't even on the table. And just like that, my entire life, everything I loved, everything I thought I'd have forever, gone. In the blink of an eye, it's all over. It's like a final nail in the coffin, a bang on the grave, and there's nothing left. It still feels unreal. But I've been trying to move on, as hard as that is. My best friend and I have started a small business from scratch. It's an online thing, but since she's got a full-time job, we haven't been able to dedicate much time to it yet. Still, it's something to look forward to. And in the meantime, I've been doing side gigs. I've set up a whole room at home for massage services. Business isn't exactly booming, but it's enough to help pay the bills for now. At least I'm doing something. It helps me feel like I'm moving forward, even if it's just baby steps. But honestly, I feel numb. I don't know if I really feel anything anymore. There are moments when I still miss Jake. I think about what we had, what we could have had, and how amazing we used to be together. I think about how much I miss him, how much I miss us. And then to top it all off, I hear that he's already moved on. He's got a new girlfriend. It's only been a couple of months since the divorce, and he's already with someone else. He doesn't even look sad. It's like none of it affected him at all. He's out there living his life, and here I am, still stuck in the mess, still wallowing in my misery, still trying to put the pieces back together. How is it that he moved on so fast, while I'm still here, feeling like a shell of who I used to be? It's frustrating, and it makes me wonder if I ever meant anything to him at all. It's like he's already forgotten everything we had, and yet here I am, still mourning the end of us. But maybe that's what this final post is about, closing that door. I don't want to be stuck in this place anymore. I don't want to be the one holding on to something that's already gone. So, yeah, this is me trying to move forward, trying to let go of what's been weighing me down. I don't know what the future holds, and I don't know when I'll stop feeling like this, but I have to believe that things will get better, eventually. Thanks for listening, Reddit. This is me signing off for now. Here's to moving on.